Hello, welcome to the Math Tutor channel. Welcome to part 3 of quadratic equations, and we are specifically looking at factorization, one of the methods that we use to solve quadratic equations. So in part 1 we looked at how quadratic equations look like. We looked at the different methods of solving quadratic equations, and in part 2 we did an example of how to use factorization to solve, first of all, to factorize the quadratic equation before we can solve the quadratic equation. And in this part we are going to conclude about factorization. So we're going to look at an example. This is the example. I'll write it here. Example 2. Okay, from part 2. So this is part 3. So this is part 3. So the example is factorize. Told you the Z varies depending on your accent. Sometimes it is an S, sometimes it is a Z. Has no problem. Okay, the equation is x squared minus 2x minus 3. Okay, equals 0. Okay, yeah, we can say factorize this. Like we said in part 2, you have to look at the constant, the C, the number in the C position. You can see the C. Find out the factors of C, factors, so factors of 3 in this case, factors of 3, 1 times 3, there is no any other factors, no numbers you can multiply to get 3, so it is only 1 and 3. Now that we know that the sum is negative 2, okay, we always take the number with its sign, and the product is negative 3. So you think of what to do about these numbers. Which number can be negative to get negative 2 and negative 3? Looking at it, it will be this one, because we know that 1 plus negative 3 we shall get negative 2, and 1 times negative 3 we shall get negative 3. Okay, so this should be the pair of factors. Okay, so in part 2 I explained how the working, like all the working, and now in this part I'm going to try to summarize to make it very simple for my followers. Okay, so now we shall now say, since 1 is positive, we shall write that in a bracket, and then we know that the final answer has to be this. Excellent. So we shall say x. So since 1 is positive, we shall say plus 1, and since 3 is negative, we shall say minus 3. So here you have already factorized. You have already factorized this equation, and I hope you understand. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm going to give you some examples to try out, okay, on your own. So I'll write here, try this. You can look out for part 1 and part 2. And you see how to go about that. Okay, so just a minute, some examples. Okay, we can try out this, factorize. Okay, factorize, and you can use the lesson to try out these ones. Make sure you get the correct answers. Okay, make sure you get the correct answers. 7y plus 10, and then number 3 we shall say a squared plus 5a plus 6. Okay, try factorizing this, and then see you in part 4 to see another type of quadratic equation that really needs you to understand on how to use the factorization method. Okay, so try out this, and see you in part 4. Bye bye.